Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Adam Jones Podcast. I'm Jerry Coleman. He's the former five-time MLB All-Star, multiple-time Gold Glove winner. Hold up how many times you've won the Gold Glove. At least 3. Okay, I said at least 3. I count 4 if you can watch us on YouTube. Today in episode 17, we're going to be joined by Adam's friend and former foe, CC Sabathia, joining us here. Also a podcaster, doing much better than we are. We'll talk about that. Orioles and the rest of MLB getting ready for spring training, one of my favorite times of the year. We'll find out how AJ feels about that, the highs and lows of heading to Florida and Arizona. We'll also hear about AJ's alleged hole-in-one that no one witnessed except on social media. We'll review our Super Bowl picks because we both hit the game right, and our best social media correspondents of the week in Socially Speaking. But we begin with our featured guest. Joining us now, the former Major League Baseball pitcher, the great CC Sabathia, from an undisclosed location. He's not on a retreat in the darkness for the next 2 weeks like Aaron Rodgers. He's right here in broad daylight. CC, thanks for taking the time and being here with us. I know you and AJ have a deep relationship. We'll talk about your numbers against each other because you guys faced each other at the major league level more than anyone, respectively, one-on-one. But I got to ask you about podcasting, my man. Your podcast has taken off. We're just trying to follow in your footsteps. What's the secret to your success, and what have you learned along the journey of being a former player, now a media member?
You know what? It's just having a good co-host. Ruco's really good at
He's still looking for one.
Ruco's really good at keeping the conversation going. I'm really good at just getting guests on. I'm a big fan of sports, and me and him have a lot in common. Obviously, he grew up in the suburbs of New York City, and I grew up, in the hood in the Bay Area. But when you boil it all down, we have a lot in common, man, and it makes for some fun conversations. And I think the guests, can come on and be themselves and have a lot of fun.
As you, after retirement, you had to give me a huge celebration and all that, 3,000 strikeouts. Oh, man, big star, Hall of Famer, soon to be. Retirement, staying involved. How did you manage your first year? Because you already know, most people don't get to go out your way. Most people go out, especially in today's climate, just go out. How did you manage your first year of retirement to now? Obviously, it's your fourth year as you head to the Hall of Fame ballot in a couple of years.
Now, what's crazy is that I kind of got a little lucky in the sense that it was a blessing in disguise with COVID. I got a chance to kind of reintegrate into my family and get in the routine of just being home. So like those first couple of months of just like being locked in, it gave me a chance to reconnect with the fam and because we're gone, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like never being home and having a chance to understand their routines and, what the kids go through. So having a chance to get reacclimated with the family was huge. And for me, I knew I was going to be good at retirement, bro. I'm lazy. I love it. You know me, I love vacationing. So I'm like, man, I should retire like 10 years ago. Like this is the life. Like, but it's fun, man. And we put in all the work. We worked hard, put in all the work, and now we just get to sit back and enjoy what we've done. Being able to stay involved in the game with the Yankees job, the MLB job, just give me access to the players. And we love, like when we go on vacation, we hang out, we talk baseball. That's all we do is talk about the game, and we love the game. And to be able to still have that access to the game is something that's that I appreciate, and it's a blessing for sure.
That was my next question for you is how many hats are you wearing these days? Obviously, your son, college athlete, first baseman for Georgia Tech, first home run, first at bat. How legit was that? But, I mean, you got 3 other kids that are just incredibly busy but you got time now, which is a beautiful thing. So how many hats are you wearing in the Sabathia house?
Man, it's Uber dad, dance dad, you know what I mean? Baseball dad with Carter. Lil C starts his first college series this weekend coming up down in Atlanta against Miami of Ohio. So, man, it's just fun to be able to be around and kind of enjoy all the work that we put in. So, now being able to watch Lil C start his journey in baseball and be there to have those conversations with him My daughters dance. My oldest one is she's a good little actress. She does musical theater, so it's fun to watch them. But when my girls do stuff, bro, I end up crying. Like when Saya, like I was at Disney last week, and like I get so like emotional. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy because I see how hard they work, and just to see all the results come for them, man, it just it's something that's special to me.
That's awesome. Look I know Coleman wants to ask something. Look at him biting at the bit like Papa goes west. I know him. Get him. Yeah.
Well, we've been talking about this, and if this, of course, is Black History Month, and the lack of African Americans playing the sport that you guys excelled at. How do you feel about that, CC? We've heard Adam talk about it in the past. You just mentioned you got a kid rising through the ranks right now, but where is the sport headed in that direction?
Yeah, it's a tough spot where the sport is headed. I mean, where the sport is headed, I think, is in a good place because of guys like me and Adam and, the Players Alliance and the work that we're doing and, Curtis Granderson, Edwin Jackson, Mike Bourne, all of our friends in the organization that we started with the Players Alliance and just trying to get more, not more participation because kids are playing in our community and they're playing at a high level. They just don't get the access that other kids get. So it's up to us to get them the access and whatever equipment that they need, whether it's, stuff to measure exit velo or, for, guys to be able to have weighted balls to throw harder, all of this stuff you need to be a better baseball player at this point, we need to get them access to. So through the Players Alliance, through, Major League Baseball's wide youth development fund, we've been able to, to at the grassroots level, try to turn the tide a little bit. And, you've seen it in the draft last year in 22. You had, I think, 4 or 5 of the top 7 picks were Black kids. So, we got a long, long way to go to get them to the big leagues. And, it's not even just players, it's coaches, it's front office people, it's, people working in the stadiums. You know what I mean? We need to create more baseball fans in the Black community throughout. You know what I mean? Whether it's in Baltimore, in New York, and in Colorado, it's attracting these people to come to the park and becoming baseball fans. Whether that's getting things in the community, I always say, in Baltimore, we need to get Miss Shirley at the stadium. Places that people will come and congregate at the stadium. So that's a part of my mission at MLB is just to create more fans.
That's a nice plug for Miss Shirley here on the podcast. Maybe we could be a sponsor, much like I'm working on Lenny's Deli right now. But I got to ask you, CC, because it's become a lost art, and I'm talking about the art of the complete game. You threw 38 in your career. You had 10 in one season, and yet it still looks like your arm is still attached to your shoulder. What is going on here? How soft are today's players? And I know a lot of players don't like to hear that word. Or is it the analytical geeks that are getting too much involved here with these pitch counts?
No, I think it's the analytics with the pitch counts. I mean, you say I had 38 complete games, and that's, a kind of a lost start in this era. But I think I had 252 wins I finished with. Fergie Jenkinson had 268 complete games in his career. So that man had more complete games than I had wins in my career. So it's just, one of those things where it's one of those things where the generations is just changing. I think, though, with the pitch clock coming back, I think we'll see some of these guys starting to get deep into the games. I think, the velocity is going to drop. You're going to have to figure out how to pitch inside and outside, move the ball around, use your secondary pitches because you're not going to have all the time just to sit there and hump up and throw the ball hard as you can, 50, 60 times, 70 times, and then the next guy comes in. There's going to be a little more strategy, and the starting pitcher is going to have to go deeper into games and, give the bullpen. I think if you look at the teams that get to the World Series or win the World Series, they have starters that go deep into the game. Like Dusty, Dusty didn't blow his bullpen out, and, he was able to use those guys throughout the whole year. So, everybody's turning to the opener and all this other bullshit. You go out there and throw 80 pitches hard as you can, and we get somebody else to come in, but it doesn't work. Nobody wins like that. Nobody wins the World Series. You have to have starters that can pitch deep into the game, 2 or 3 of them, for you to win in October. And it's proven.
I want to talk the East. Obviously, one of the most competitive divisions, the big payrolls, the guys spending money. Um, you got a upcoming team as the Orioles. As when you got over to New York, you seen the upcoming team in Baltimore. As you guys were still chasing the championships, we just trying to just knock y'all off a little bit. But talk about the East right now. Obviously, the Yankees bringing back Judge, massive. The Blue Jays keep getting better. The Red Sox, we don't know. Tampa, they figure it out somehow, some way. Baltimore, obviously, the prospect laden organization right now. So the East, I know you pay attention to it a lot.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, because it's weird because I feel like it's up for the taking, right? Like you said, on paper, to me, Toronto should be the best team in the East. It just depends on if those guys can go out. It's hard when you're young and you have those expectations. 2 years ago in 2020, they came out, they had no expectations. They came out and they started banging heads and make the playoffs. Come back in 21. They got all these expectations. They signed Gosman, and now it's we need to win the East, and they kind of fell flat on their face. I think this is their year. You know what I mean? Like their window's open. This is their year. But you have the Yankees standing there. You know what I mean? But for me, the Yankees, it's the same squad. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't really do much.
Just Rondon.
You know what I mean? Like they got Rondon.
Yeah.
But it's going to be about health. You know what I mean? Like Nestor's going to have to come back and pitch great. Stevie's going to have to come back and pitch a full fucking season of good pitching to help Cole out. And, we got to see what happens. But I think it's up for Toronto for Toronto to take. To me, if you're just looking at it on paper, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I mean, like you said, with Baltimore, they have all the prospects. I think in a couple of years, they'll be really good. I mean, I really like Jackson Holiday. I've had a chance to watch him now for the last 3 summers. Obviously, our kids, playing with and against each other. So I think he's going to be really good. I love Allie Rushman, Cedric Mullins. So, we have to wait and see what happens. But I think it's just going to be Toronto and New York for this year. This summer coming up. We'll just wait and see how it plays out. But the Yankees have the same squad coming back. So it's just going to be about health.
CC, on your podcast, I mean, we're rated R. I guess you guys are too, because judging by the language you're using here this morning, which is fine with us.
Hey,
and
we got bleeps.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to bleep any of this. I don't think we need to. I do want to ask you, you were talking about the media post-career, and 2 of your former teammates, 2 of your exes are now going to be reunited. Will it feel so good now that Derek Jeter, I saw, is joining Fox with A-Rod and Alex Rodriguez? You played together a long time with those guys. There's this perception they don't like each other, but there's also this story that now they patch things up. How's that going to work on TV? And I don't know, did Big Papi get shoved out the door because of this?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm wondering who got the boot, right? No, I'm excited for Jeter. I think it's going to be fun for him to be on TV. I know, he's got all the knowledge, you know what I'm saying? So it'll be fun to see him kind of doing this job. I mean, I never expected him to do anything like this. But for him to be able to share his knowledge, I think it'll be fun. I think people will get a chance to see, his personality, to see how funny he is, to see, how much he jokes around. And, him and Alex have a good relationship. And I think people like to harp on, I guess, the situation they had before. But, they've patched things up. And, now they're going to be working together all summer. So should be fun to see how it plays out on TV.
All right, the last thing I have for you, Adam, I did want to ask him because last week we had Bob Kendrick on, CC, who runs the Negro League Baseball Museum, as you're well aware, in Kansas City. We talked about the concept, and it's long overdue, of Major League Baseball integrating the Negro League statistics into the record books. Do you think that needs to happen sooner than later and encompass everything together?
I think they've already started doing that.
It seems like a slow process because we're still waiting for it to come to fruition.
Yeah. But I think they have already started putting some of the records together. I mean, I think it's just hard to confirm some of the Negro League records. But I mean, I think if you start putting in some of the guys' records from the Negro Leagues, you're gonna see the record books change a lot. You know what I'm saying? So
they're not ready for that.
But by them, allowing this to happen, it just kind of is what it is. The record's going to change a lot, and I think it's a good thing, though. You know, I think having a chance to see Buck O'Neil go in, and you know, all these different guys get a chance to get their recognition now is huge, because you know we were playing baseball before 1947 and at a really high level.
All right, next question about the massive upcoming tournament, and I think you're gonna go out far east to go see I think one of the most exciting brackets,
Yeah.
the Tokyo bracket, um, the WBC. I mean, obviously, you know, everybody wants to see America, Dominican, Japan, and the Netherlands. I think that's the fourth team.
Yeah.
But you're going out to Japan. What expectations? What are you excited to see? Because Japan's gonna come. They're gonna be
Yeah,
there.
no, I just want to see Shohei over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's going to be exciting to get a chance to see him in Japan, man. I'm just excited for the tournament. Like, I wish I would have played in it, man. I like watching you guys that year. What was that? 17? No,
17. Yeah.
17. Yeah. I mean, it's just incredible. That kind of like set it off where, you know, people just got excited to play for their country. And I think a lot of guys watching the World Cup, you know, this past off season, you know, have got that bug to play for their country. So I think it's going to be incredible, man. And you guys coming off the big USA win just gets this country more hype. I think had you guys not won in 17, the U.S. would have been like, no, it would have been like, you know, WBC, like it would no interest. But now that you guys have won and, you know, people are hyped up about it, I think it's going to be, I think it's going to make for a great, great tournament. And you got some good, I mean, Dominican squad is crazy. Puerto Rico squad is good. I mean, the U.S. squad is crazy. We just a little short on pitching, so we'll see how that goes.
Pitching.
But, you know, and I think they're doing it where you can bring guys in. So guys can come from spring training
rotate.
And just rotate in. So, you know, that'll help us a little bit. It'd be more like a little perfect game tournament. And,
yeah, for sure. Bringing the kid because he came from another tournament.
Yeah. Fly him in on the weekend, give us 3 innings.
Hey, CC, I got one final question for you. I mentioned at the top of our conversation that you and Adam have faced each other more than any other duo, respectively. In other words, he faced you more as a pitcher and vice versa. And in 92 career at-bats, I looked it up, he hit a respectable 283, 5 home runs, 17 RBIs, but you fanned him on 11 occasions as well. What did you feel like his weakness was?
Oh, man.
1-1 delivery, and that ball is hit deep to left field. Way back, Adam Jones. Goodbye, home run. Oh, is he hot? His 4th career home run against CC Sabathia.
I wouldn't even know that. Like, I don't know if there was a weakness in that swing, man. It was just always trying to get him to be aggressive. If I can get him in swing mode, then I feel like I had a good day.
That's what you got to get me in. I'm always in it.
Always in swing mode.
Always in it. Herbie from the on deck circle. Hey man, you better be ready to go right now. All right, I'm ready to go. Hey, I'm fun. Jerry's born, so I know you like to travel. You like to eat. Your favorite vacation spot, your favorite food, and your favorite dessert.
My favorite vacation spot is Africa, bro. That was my favorite vacation by far. I've never experienced anything like that. Like just being over there and being connected, like it was really, really a cool experience. Took the kids over there for Christmas a couple years ago for 3 weeks. That was my by far my favorite vacation. I don't even know what my favorite food is because I was thinking about this the other day. You don't get to look like me and have a favorite food. You know what I'm saying? Like all food is my friend, guys. So it's not like, but I think like right now at the moment, my favorite food is pizza. Like the last couple months, I've been like crushing pizza. But if you catch me during the summer, it could be fucking sushi. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always changing, but it just depends on my mood. You know what I'm saying? So I think it would be. I think right now I would have to say pizza, and New York City pizza because just moving here in the last couple of years, I got the appreciation for New York City pizza. So Prince Street pizza would probably be my favorite, and then my favorite dessert would be I just love sorbet. Any kind of sorbet or gelato I can get to. I'm good with that.
All right.
You got your choices where you live, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, living here in New York, bro, it's never short on food. I love it here.
No doubt about it. Well, CC, this has been an effing good interview.
Yeah.
We won't bleep anything. We do appreciate your time, your brutal honesty, and look forward to having you on at some point during the baseball season.
Yeah, of course. Have me back anytime.
That's CC. That's Big Brother right there. When he talks, you listen, no matter what he say, and no matter the language he speaks in. So, hey, it's always good to be around him, man. We had a good vacation together, as we posted all. So, yeah, it's always good to be around him and to delve into that knowledge.
Always fun to catch up with a former player who has no grudges and just likes to tell it like it is, and that was a lot of fun.
He didn't care. He had no grudge. He played the game hard. He lived with what he lived with. He played it the right way. I love it. And he'd drill you for his team. I wanted that on my team. I wanted somebody that would just drill somebody, but
protect your players.
Yeah, he was one of the best at doing that.
No doubt about it.
My ribs hurt still from getting hit by it. I should have told him I'm still pissed at him for hitting Markakis. I told him that many times, so he knows.
Well, as always, we're brought to you by our friends over at BMW of Towson, home of the best service department in all of Baltimore, easily located just off York Road at exit 26A off 695. I speak from firsthand experience. BMW of Towson, very customer friendly, and they got a car waiting for you, AJ, once you get your ass in town. Also, by Be More Around Town, they have their opening day #Orange Tailgate coming Thursday, April 6th. I just saw Little Jones run by. Last year, maybe he'll be there. Last year, over 2,000 attended this all-inclusive event. What he can't participate in is the open bar. Did I mention they will have an open bar? BeMoreAroundTown.com to be a part of it. It will sell out. Also, much gratitude to Dennis Wyman and the Wyman Group. Thanks for his support. By G-Leaf Medical Cannabis, they offer free delivery. Visit gleaf.com, medical cannabis for qualified Maryland patients only. Don't miss all the excitement coming to Baltimore. It's the CIAA Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament at the CFG Bank Arena, February 21st through the 25th. Book a room at one of the arena's nearby hotels. Stroll the Inner Harbor waterfront. Check out Baltimore's nightlife. See old friends and cheer on your team and experience all that Charm City has to offer. CIAA is the nation's oldest historically black athletic conference. Buy tickets and plan your trip at baltimore.org/CIAA or head to Ticketmaster, the Baltimore Sports and Tourism Development Council. Thanks all the local contributors. Again, the website, head to it now as tickets are going fast. Baltimore.org/CIAA. And the Baltimore Banner still offering 6 months unlimited digital access. As a favor to our podcast viewers and listeners, for just $1, head to thebaltimorebanner.com/AJ to get started. 6 months unlimited digital access. All right, Adam, let's turn our attention to the Orioles, our For the Birds talk. As a 14-year Major League veteran, you've been through a lot of spring trainings. Orioles about to head down to sunny Sarasota. Coincidentally, you're going to be down there a week before I get down there, and you've timed it so you will not be down there when I'm down there. Well done. Well done. It seems that way. It's one of my favorite times of the year. You better go over to the Coleman household and say hello to my pops. Anyway, I would like to know from you, was there trepidation? Were there chaotic scenes that you had to deal with in getting ready for spring training, and maybe it was a bit calmer as your career developed a little bit and you became a veteran? But early on, were there some nervous times about leaving for spring training?
For me, not really. I mean, obviously, it was a chance for a new season, new beginning. I just think the hardest thing that I had to deal with until I met my wife was figuring out a place to stay. You know, young players lean on their agents, they lean on the organization to find them places and all that kind of stuff because, you know, they have the access, but they always find you places that you really end up not liking. But I think that's the hardest place. And places like Sarasota is really difficult because of the fact that it's a retirement community. People down there, they stay in those homes now, especially how it's getting really cold up in the north. And with technology, there's no reason to really go back to the north if the snowboarders want to stay down there year round, unless they leave in the summer when it's just too hot. So those I think were the biggest things. I think getting ready for it, I was always excited. I always got there early. I always reported with the pitchers and catchers. Only time I did not report with the pitchers and catchers was the birth of my second son, because he was like 2 days, it was like right around in the same day of the pitchers and catchers, but I reported with the position players. But I was always excited. New year, new opportunity to open some doors, open some eyes. So I hope that this young group sees that as a new opportunity, because they're going to get a lot of at bats. You see that a lot of organizations are taking people from the WBC, so they're going to, a lot of people who were going to get 10, 15 at bats, maybe on the B games and ninth innings. They're going to get significantly more at bats this year because a lot of guys are leaving, and uh, they need to take advantage of it, and I hope they do.
One of the things I was curious about in covering baseball growing up, well, as a professional and watching growing up, was these visa problems that players would have trying to get into the U.S. for spring training. And now that you're living outside the U.S., you deal with the visa all the time, and a MasterCard and American Express and all that. But seriously, with the visa and the problems that these players have had in the past, I always wondered, AJ, why can't they get this all set up in advance, months in advance, and not have to wait until the last second?
I wish I had the best answer for it, but the thing that I'm noticing the most of it is just the expiration dates and how people move and how countries move, country to country. Some countries move faster than others. They expedited other ones. Spain is not one of the fastest countries in anything. I'm telling you about anything. They don't move quick. But when I think the players, you always get the ones that have issues. Generally, it's something a little bit more. But sometimes, it's generally the required amount of days you can stay in the United States for the players. Sometimes they stay longer when they're supposed to leave after the season. A lot of people think that, after the season, players just go home because they want to be with their family and all that kind of stuff. And of course they want to, but they also got to get out of the country. And, sometimes that's unfortunate, but that's just the rules of it. But it's a headache. It's a tedious process. When I went to Japan, they did it all for us, so that was amazing. But just going through it anyway, even with Japan and how the things that I had to do, I can see how it becomes an incredible headache for a lot of guys. But if that's the job you got to do, that's the job you got to do. But I'm glad that Japan did a lot, and hopefully that the teams do a lot for the players. But honestly, I never really spoke with guys about these issues.
Well, the last thing I want
headache.
Right. Last thing I did want to address, and you're so humble, you never even mentioned it to us. We had to read it on social media regarding baseball, is because you have become an advisor for the National Baseball Hall of Fame. I don't ever expect you to be enshrined. I don't know if you expect to be enshrined, but certainly you'll get a bunch of votes from some knowledgeable baseball writers out there. Maybe you'll get some votes. I mean, I've seen
One.
lesser
I
players.
just need one. If I get one, I'm gonna frame that vote. I'm gonna take that guy out to dinner, buying the best bottle of Scarecrow or whatever high-end wine.
I wish I had a vote. Wish
If
I
you
had
had
a
a vote,
vote.
I just need one sucker to be like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, just one.
All right, but you are going to be working for the National
Yeah.
Baseball Hall of Fame. Talk about the capacity and the role that you will be involved in.
Well, it's a big, big committee trying to revive the Jackie Robinson collection, basically, and we're trying to redo it. I believe bring it out 2024. I believe is the when the launch date. But it's just it was a massive thing with the Baseball Hall of Fame they did in 1997, if I'm not mistaken, and that was the 25th, or it was the 50th anniversary, and then it's been 25 years. That was 75 years this year. So what they're trying to do is just bring back the mystique of it, because we hear Jackie Robinson, we get a day of Jackie Robinson, then it's back to normal baseball, and then now you got Roberto Clemente Day, which is great, and then now you added Lou Gehrig Day, which is I think all fantastic. You're honoring some of the game's greatest players. With Jackie Robinson, it's a little bit different, and I just think that what they're trying to do is just retell the story and in a greater capacity, and not just have it be for 1 year and one moment. It's going to be taught and told over again and be a normal production rather than just an event. And to be on the board with, I mean, some amazing people that I was just meeting for the first time with some writers, obviously former baseball players, people that curators and people that work at the Baseball Hall of Fame. So it's a real privilege for them to even ask me, especially when I seen the list of people on there. I'm like, I mean, there's a couple of people that don't belong. I'm one of them, but I appreciate them for them loving my passion as being one of the last generation's ambassadors of people who really enjoyed the history of the Negro League and Jackie Robinson.
Well, congratulations. That's a terrific honor and a great job to have. So we'll keep following your adventures along the path here. All right.
Always doing something.
It's been a while, and someone was texting me the other day, how come Adam hasn't ranted about anything in a while? And I said we wanted to get into 2023. So let's roll. It's time for Adam's weekly rant. And this week, folks, Adam rants about kids' birthday parties and how to handle them, Adam.
Oh man, I don't think there's a proper way to handle a kid's birthday party. You know what I mean?
Be
Kids want this.
careful. Be careful. There are kids behind you in
That-
that room.
Yeah, he left, but he knows. He's on the watch list right now. It's I posted I posted a couple years ago of like, is it wrong for a parent to cancel the kid's birthday party a couple days before the party, their anticipation? Obviously it's a joke, but everybody kids is bad. And everybody, and you got to threaten your kids sometimes, I believe. Obviously not physically, but you have to threaten them with taking away stuff and doing all this. But any parents out there, please give me advice on anything about these kids. I'm always open. My wife is she's very patient. Me, mm-mm. You know what I mean? I got I got two boys, so you know what I mean. I'm ready to stick and move. There's gonna be a point where they get bigger and beat me up. But any parents with these birthdays, I know these kids now they want floor seats and they want this and that. And like when I was a kid, it was a birthday cake, hot dogs at the park, and shut up. Enjoy it. Now it is it's changed. Kids are expensive and they want monetary things, and it's just, and I'm not the only one, so I'm not putting my say just because I'm a former athlete or whatever. I'm saying all kids they want all this. So I'm looking for advice. Yeah, I'm looking for advice, but it's for sure it's the life of being a parent and teaching them that some things you just gonna have to work for.
Well, one person who won't be offering advice is me, since I have no children that I know of in this country. They may be somewhere else outside of the country. And that's kind of a great segue, being outside of the country a little bit, because allegedly, and we saw it on social media, you had your first ever hole-in-one. You have, we're tied for the same amount of hole-in-ones inside the United States, but you got your first overseas.
Zero.
Tell us about it.
Well, first off, I had it in Morocco and Marrakesh. I needed to get back to the motherland. That's what I needed to do. I needed to get there to just hone into my skills and my true craft. But it was on a par 4. It was the first hole, but how it happened was it wasn't the first shot of the day, which would have been obviously spectacular because I would have quit. But I had to start on 2 because there were too many people, 2 foursomes in front of me. So I started on 2 and just breezed my way through, and then got back to hole number 1. Whack, par 4 dog leg right. And I'm like, let me just drive it. And, let's see what happens. And I hit it. I'm like, I might not like this as much. But the guy, my caddy and all the people watching, but mainly the marshal was like, you're going to like this shot. I'm like, nah. He's like, nah, you're going to like it. And I get up there and I'm looking where I normally am, the beach, the sand or the traps or back in the rough. Can't find it. And then the grounds crew guy is like, oh. I get over there. I'm like, huh? He's like, oh. I see a ball mark. He's like, boom. He just showed me what it did. And I look in the hole. My ball was there. And I screamed. And it stopped one guy from driving because hole 2 was right on the side of where the pin was. And they all looked over. And it was like, in Spanish. I know they were in French because Morocco is a French country. And they were just saying things in French, like congratulations. I didn't really understand it, but
they were telling you in French
with me.
No, they were telling you in French. They were telling you in French. You couldn't understand. They were saying this happens all the time.
Yeah, right. Then my caddy gave me a big old hug, and oh man, it was pretty cool. And once in a lifetime. Again, I'm not the greatest golfer. I hit some good shots here and there, but this is gonna keep me coming for a long time. And I still stink at it, but hey, on that one hole, I was a pro player.
Congratulations!
On that one
Once
hole.
again, you can add it. You can add it to the list of things you have done that I'll never accomplish. So
you never know, Jerry. You never know. Don't sell yourself short, buddy.
Well, if there's a miniature golf course and that counts, then yes. If there's a real golf course, no. All right, we got to move along here. Each week, it's time for Socially Speaking. We choose a social media correspondence to read. In addition, if you go on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and rate the podcast and write a review and send us proof, you become instantly eligible to receive a piece of Adam Jones signed memorabilia. And we do have a winner this week. And you're eligible by going to @AdamJonesPod on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram and showing us the evidence, usually a direct message via Twitter, or just email us at theadamjonespod@gmail.com. theadamjonespod@gmail.com. In fact, our contest winner this week, because he rated the podcast and sent us the evidence, is someone named Hank at Stankburner. He wrote, pretty matter of fact, love the podcast, helps make my commute something to look forward to. Hope I win this giveaway. Well, guess what? You won the giveaway, and thanks for the 5 stars.
We appreciate that, man. We want everybody. I listen to podcasts on my drives, so I think that's the perfect time to listen to them. When you're traveling, you're moving around, you got a little bit of time, so I appreciate it, people taking their time instead of listening to their latest albums, listening to our podcast.
That's right. Go ahead and rate it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. 5 stars. We'll love you forever. But again, show us the evidence at Adam Jones Pod on social media. All right. We do want to thank our sponsors. We've run out of time. It's a timely podcast, as we like it to be here on the Adam Jones Podcast. That's it, AJ. Thanks to our friends at BMW of Towson, home of the best service department in all of Baltimore. It's BMW of Towson, easily located just off York Road at exit 26A off 695. I speak from firsthand experience. They have a beautiful waiting room, and the service department is 5 stars, much like our podcast. Also, Be More Around Town. They've got the ultimate orange tailgate coming to opening day. Go to BeMoreAroundTown.com and find out about how this thing is going to go with the open bar, live music, all before the game starts. It begins at 10 a.m. So they know how to throw a party. Brian and company.
Yes, they do.
.com.
I might have to be there. Let me see what my schedule is. Let me see.
Please do.
No, I won't be there. I just know when opening day is, and I know I'll be somewhere very, very far golfing.
Way to tease us. Also, thanks to Dennis Wyman and the good folks over at the Wyman Group. Always much gratitude for their support. G-Leaf Medical Cannabis Company. Visit gleaf.com. They have free delivery, medical cannabis for qualified Maryland patients only. And go out and check out the Baltimore banner. 6 weeks, unlimited digital access for just $1. All you have to do is visit thebaltimorebanner.com/AJ to get that offer. All right, we want to thank our shy but senior executive producer. His name is Chip Franklin, for putting all this together. Go out and subscribe to the banner, like I said. Reach us on social media at Adam Jones Pod. Be kind, be real, and make sure to be back here next week, folks.
Appreciate you.